I would like to encourage you every day to create some space for yourself in this easygoing way. And then discover that that space is really available to you throughout the day at your desk. So just every hour to take a few seconds to shift. In your lunch break, or on the way home, or when you come home in the morning. And if you have a meditation practice, maybe it is a nice gift for you to start that meditation practice with just sitting. Before you start to go through the program. And just sitting in this most simple way, taking all pressure off you. And then you can try to get there through your meditation practice after. Spend some time on your couch without needing to switch something on, without needing to do yoga or relaxation techniques or something. Just nothing. I want to encourage you to be completely unproductive. Every day, yeah? Even for half an hour maybe. Wow. So half an hour without spiritual progress. And before the break, I would like to share a practice with you. And then after the break, I will guide this practice. And it is a practice from the Tibetan tradition. It's called Tonglen, giving and taking. And I would like to choose fear as an example of how we can work with Tonglen and ourselves and our fear. Based on what I wrote down here, a quote from Rainer Maria Rilke. Perhaps everything that frightens us is, in its deepest essence, something helpless that needs our love. And Tonglen is a beautiful gift to respond in a different way to what we are afraid of. To respond to a different way to the feeling of fear. And I think there's so much tension and stress in our body and our life through things we are afraid of. So the first step, of course, is to recognize. I'm afraid. So only what we recognize, what we own, what we reveal to ourselves, we can work with. And it happens easily that we deny our fear. I shouldn't be afraid, or I'm not afraid. I mean, I'm even afraid to call someone, no matter who it is. Not everyone has that particular fear, but maybe some of you like to. I needed this. Now I spend quite some time on the phone, to telephone conferences. So I got a little bit over it, but. So to just recognize, yeah, I'm afraid of that, without saying to yourself, it shouldn't be. Get over it. That's childish. I'm a grown-up man, or I'm a confident woman. I'm not afraid of this. Yeah? And then clenching the teeth. And of course, we have discipline, and we can kind of keep everything together. Yeah? This tension. And then in the night, they knock at the windows from the unconsciousness in our dreams, or we can't fall asleep, or we wake up in the night, or we need to drink in the evening just to fall asleep. Or numb ourselves with some stupid television programs. So to recognize, and not to recognize it with kindness, like, yeah, wow, I'm a human being and I'm afraid. And it does not help me to say, this is silly to have this fear. So the first move in the practice of Tonglen is to practice Tonglen with ourselves, and here with an experience of fear. So one way to work with Tonglen and fear is to play with it while the fear is present, while the sensation of fear is present. Let's say you in the evening you can't fall asleep because you're afraid of something going to happen, which is something is going to happen the next day. So here, with the practice of Tonglen, you're invited to notice and to be with the sensation in your body of fear. How does it feel in your body? Where is the fear? Just to notice. And in the practice of Tonglen, we work with the breath. And with the in-breath, we connect the taking, and with the out-breath, we connect the giving. So with the in-breath, we move towards Usually we try to move away from the fear. Try to escape, try to suppress, try to numb ourselves. So here in the practice of Tonglen, we have a way to move towards with the in-breath. And with the out-breath, we give ourselves what we need. We give the fear what it needs at that moment. So we breathe out compassion, we breathe out kindness. And we can do so maybe with a visualization of when we breathe in black smoke, like kind of breathing it in, and breathing out golden light of compassion, nectar of compassion. To that area of tension in your body. So in a way you communicate with that fear how it is presented in your body as the sensation in your body, that area which is particular tense. So we will do that after the break. I will lead you to do that. So that is a beautiful way to work with something outside of you in your life through working with it in your body. Relating to that area which is holding that fear. Breathing it in and breathing out what you need at that moment, what that fear needs: care, love, attention, kindness. So the other, so that's when you are in an experience where you have a fear arising. The other option Tonglen gives us is to work with something in the past. We have unresolved things in the past. Things where there's still healing to be done, something we carry still with us. So maybe a situation where you were 5 years old and where you felt very, very alone and very afraid. Maybe afraid to die and you didn't have anyone to talk to. You were alone. So that experience is still here. It's here in this moment. And we can take care of that little girl, of that little girl, of that little boy. And with the Tonglen, you meet yourself as that little girl, as that little boy, and you breathe in the fear, the pain, the loneliness. And again, you can use a visualization with that, like black smoke or tar, where you take away that fear, that pain of that little girl, which you were then, and which is still here. So you imagine, you feel how you with your in-breath, you breathe it in, and it's can be like some smoke which you take away. And you can do so like a few times. You for some moments you just focus on the in breath, like the taking, and then you switch, and then you breathe out what this little girl, what this little boy needs. And you see this little boy, this little girl receiving what it needed then. And you feel how this little boy, this little girl is so happy that you are not ashamed of him or her. So this is it's also, it doesn't need to be something which is a long time ago. It could be also something which happened yesterday. You're living, you're waking up in the night or in the morning, and something comes up from yesterday, which you feel is still unsolved. So then you can do that. You can go back there, breathing in. Breathing in here means, yeah, this is what happened. I was afraid. And you take it. And then you breathe out what you need. And the third possibility of this practice is that we do it with something in the future. Let's say you have a meeting tomorrow and you are really scared. So you imagine that meeting and you breathe in the discomfort. You breathe in the fear. Yeah? And again, you suck out the fear, the discomfort out of that situation in the form of black smoke, of black tar. And you breathe into the situation what is needed. Compassion, kindness, balance, freedom, confidence. And while you do that, you can connect that with some golden light you bring into the situation, and you see yourself acting in that balanced way, feeling these qualities you breathe into the situation. So in the practice of Tonglen, what is one important aspect of that is that we cultivate that confidence, we connect with the resource which makes it possible for us to transform the black smoke, the fear, the sadness which we breathe in. And one way to do that is, and I will lead you into that visualization after the break, is that we imagine in our heart a lotus and a diamond. A lotus and a diamond. And the lotus is symbolizing your warmth, your capacity for love, your open heart. And the diamond is symbolizing your wisdom, your innate freedom, your capacity to be at ease. So this lotus and the diamond, that is always there. It remains. And so we take that as like the anchor, and then when we breathe in, we know we can breathe anything. We have the lotus and the diamond, which can transform. And then we breathe out what is needed. Are there any questions or comments about what I just said? Yes.
About fear, a lot of fear of you said it was compassion and stuff. I think a lot of it's because of lack of knowledge, because we don't know about the other people, like the culture inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, would you supply that with
Yes, you are saying that a reason for fear is ignorance. Yeah.
Something.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's true, I think. So, what is your sense that there the practice of Tonglen wouldn't help, or?
No, I think it's just supplement.
Yeah.
It's also knowledge.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Because like fear of the future, it's hard to put in knowledge into the future. But like we experience a lot of clash of cultures now, and we don't know about the others. So it's hard to sympathize because it's we judge them wrong. So I think that's like a concrete lack of knowledge between people.
So you're talking about the situation that we are afraid of other people because they come from a different culture. Yeah. Yes. Yes, so fear is based on ignorance. Fear is based of not knowing. So what the Buddha discovered is that if we know how things really exist, we feel safe. We don't feel safe because we live in fantasies. So the whole Buddhist path is to discover who we are and what this moment really is. Yeah. And part of that is one way to work with a situation like this is to reflect on that. Also, if someone comes from a different culture, basically we are so similar because we are human beings. So it does not matter if someone does not speak my language or what kind of color his skin has. On the heart level, we can connect with everyone on this planet because everyone wants to be happy and wants to be loved and feels and has challenges in his or her life. So there is a kind of common shared humanity which we immediately can connect when we open our heart to it. We don't need to talk with the person if we just look at the eyes of other people and we see a common ground, a kinship, a common sister and brotherhood between everyone. Yeah, so that would be a different, more analytical approach to discover that common ground with others, and with that reducing the fear of them and replacing them with a sense of connectedness, with a with a sense of recognition. Yes.
But the Tonglen, is that more on an emotional level that you work?
Yes.
That you feel the fear in the body, you try to locate the fear,
yes.
and you just breathe in the fear and you breathe out the compassion.
Yes.
Because what you're saying, it's on the more cognitive level.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of first acknowledge the fear and feel how it is in the body. That's how I understand it.
Yes. So we
continue to do that next time you meet the source of the fear, because you could stop it by labeling it. Say, no, he's not fearful. But if you haven't got the knowledge, you continue.
I understand what you mean. I think it depends on what kind of fear because sometimes the other way, because of ignorance, can be the best way, as you say. But I think this Tonglen is very much to, if you have I was thinking some traumatization you have. In my life I had some traumatic experience also, and I think for that it's quite good, I think, the Tonglen.
Yeah.
Because then it will still be in the body, the fear, and then you can work with it in a very good way with a Tonglen.
Yes. But I can also see how I could work with as that. Let's say I have a neighbor which I'm afraid of. So if I work with that fear in my body, it's quite likely that something in our relationship changes, because something, I work with that, and there is without so it's just it's also a possibility to do this analytical stuff, and that's beautiful. But I think our body, our heart knows how to love.
And if you get the fear, the emotion out, then maybe the cognitive will also go away.
It's more creative. Yes, right.
There'll be no reason to fear the neighbor anymore. It's because you have good feeling for him.
Or the openness in your body, the kindness with your feelings, releases some creativity in your thinking.
Yes, exactly.
So that you suddenly also
can see that
thinking is different. Yes.
How do you know what to put into the outburst? I mean, if I feel some kind of fear, okay, I have the fear, but sometimes I don't know what is needed to get rid of the fear.
Yes.
So then I will maybe wonder, what do I need to make part of my outburst? So is that why you choose, for example, golden light? Because golden light is some kind of more broad.
That's a possibility to. I think compassion is always a good try. But what you could also do is you could once you have identified where that fear is in your body, you can ask it. What do you need, fear? And you just listen into that space, and whatever images arises, maybe a word, maybe just more a sense, which you can't really put into words. So there is this beautiful way of communicating with aspects of yourself. And for some people, or for many people, I'm using this in some of the groups I lead. For some people, it is really astonishing that there's actually answers coming. So, in the example with the little boy, little girl, there could be also, if you don't know what to give, you could ask, little boy, what do you need? What do you want me to do? So that would be what I just said is not a part of the kind of traditional Tonglen practice. In the traditional Tonglen practice, you are more like broad. You like you said, it's more like you give love, you give compassion. But I think it's an interesting addition, which I just came up with now. It's an interesting addition to use that method, which comes from focusing, which is called focusing, to communicate with that aspect and actually ask, what do you need? Why are you here? What is your purpose? And then you could even go further and ask, how can you help me? Yes.
I think it can be difficult to identify where in the body the fear is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's all over.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Yes, then you work with all over. Yeah, so it does not need to be.
No.
It can be like a. It's true that it can be. It can be a contraction which goes through your whole body-mind system. Yeah, and then you work with that. Yeah. So you don't need to have like a. It also can change. While you do it, it can maybe you start with something in the back, and then it moves somewhere else. Yes.
Thanks. First of all, this wonderful quote reminds me a little bit of what I think has been my biggest fear. There's another quote by Marianne Wilson who said that what makes us afraid is not the darkness, but the light in us. It really hit something. To be yourself, to shine, to be free, so.
Yeah, that is interesting thing to acknowledge, that we are also afraid of joy.
Yeah.
And
that leads me to the next one, which when we learned Tonglen in the fall, there was like a Tonglen workshop for a weekend. We did it like 2 days in a row, something like that. We started with ourselves and then we like expanded it. And afterwards I was like I was biking home biking to Eastergade, and in the night I was at a party and I was totally high. And I wasn't drinking or anything. It was just like high on love. I was like taking so much pain and transforming it to love. I was like jumping and everybody was, wow, like, what's happening? And it was really like I was joy, because I think that taking other people's pain took my own pain. It was really, I was emancipated. I was free. It was really so nice. Yeah, and the last thing, the thing about the demon you talked about, I tried to practice like that when I was writing my master thesis. So I was like having this writer's block, and again and again and again. And then I actually read it. It was a kind of like Buddhist meditation. You should try to imagine that this demon who was blocking you was sitting over you, and you should give it love and see what do they want from you. And then you should see what it transformed into. And then it transformed into a white elephant. And then at that time I was living in a shared flat with other people, and there was a little son. And when I come home from writing that day, the little son came to me and gave me a little bit white plastic elephant, just like that.
Way.
Yes, way. It was so wild. I was like, whoa. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah.
yes, thank you.
It's a question about the visualization. When you have the discomfort in the body, the diamond and the lotus you can use for the smoke and dissolve into the light. But when you use Tonglen on yourself, and you said you could take the black smoke in, does that dissolve in the discomfort in the body, where the point is, and from there originates the light, or does it still always goes into the lotus and diamond? Yeah.
Yeah. It's a possibility. Yes. So it's a possible. Let's say you work with the fear, and it is like a pain in the belly. Yeah. So then you would breathe it in, and the smoke would gather around the heart and the lotus, and then it would be like a flash of light, and then you would breathe out the compassion, the kindness, from radiating from there. But you could also you could also play with leaving this visualization with the smoke, and rather use the in-breath as a way to just invite you again and again to be with it. You know what I mean? So it's like two different ways, yeah? And then the out-breath you breathe, you bathe with your breath directly the tension in your stomach by just being aware in a kind way. Yeah. So I think it's a matter of a creativity, like to find a way to work with these basic principles so that it makes sense to you. Did this confuse you now? Or? No.
I got a bit confused.
Yeah.
What was the difference between the two ways? The first way I got, it was the heart and the
Yes.
breathe in and then out. What was the second way?
You use the in-breath to just go into again and again into the sensations, and the out-breath you use to breathe in what is needed. You breathe kindness into the tension. You breathe compassion into the tension.
So the second one, you just go into the.
Yes.
Don't
So
take it out. You just go in.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So let's have a break, and then we will play with it.